Hi, and welcome to this week's weekly roundup of what's been going on in hospitality. It's not much, actually, not any really big news stories. One that's caught my eye, which is kind of made up of several smaller news stories, is it seems that the regional brewers are starting to consolidate their estates, their Thai pubs. So we've got McMullen's, Edwards and Young's all this week have announced stuff about how they're bringing previously managed leased out houses back in to be managed tied to them, or whether they're buying in new free houses. Now, this has likely been possible because of the savings that they've been making on the draft duty relief, which is not being passed down to the pubs themselves, especially in tied estates. And it is saving the breweries a lot of money. Now, this is great that they're reinvesting it rather than just passing it out of the trade and onto shareholders, but it is meaning that some previously free houses and free ties where the small breweries could sell the beer into are being tied up. This is only going to get worse unless we see an introduction of a law similar to how the beer orders were back in the 80s and 90s were supposed to happen, which forces pubs to allow a guest beer if the landlord wants to have one. Not all pubs will want one, because not all pubs will be able to sell a guest beer, but the option of being able to have one must be there as a legal right. Otherwise, we're going to see a monopoly coming in. It's going to be a few bigger breweries that will own everything, so we need to be careful of that. The other piece of news this week is that the owners of the land where the Crooked House was have said it's not financially viable to have a pub there, but they would rather move it and rebuild it elsewhere where it could be a financially viable pub. This is part of their latest appeal to having been ordered to rebuild it brick by brick after they bought it as a pub and then it accidentally, mysteriously caught on fire and was bulldozed very quickly so that it couldn't be saved. If they didn't think it was a viable pub, why did they buy it? Well, we kind of know right from the start that they owned the land adjacent to it, and several times beforehand they wanted to buy it and bulldoze it to get better access to that land. This is all of what this is about. They know that they're going to have to be forced to rebuild it, so they're now looking to be able to rebuild it elsewhere, so they still have that much bigger driveway for their lorries to come in and out of their waste site nearby. I personally don't think they should be allowed to do that yet. Will it be a viable pub? I don't know, but it's the precedent that it sets. If people can do this once, they'll keep doing it, and it needs to not be thought that it's doable. Finally, because I did say it's quite a short week this week, the deposit return scheme has been introduced in Ireland. Now, this is the same sort of scheme that they were looking to put into Scotland, which eventually got abandoned because of all of the total flaws in it. And lo and behold, and no surprise to anyone that follows about the deposit return schemes, a lot of the issues that were warned about for the Scottish one are happening in Ireland. So, for one of the main things that have come out that people didn't suddenly realise, a lot of machines have been put in places that aren't accessible. So people in wheelchairs can't get to them, which is kind of stupid when you think about it. There's not much information being going out to the people that need to know it. So there's reports of people in pubs being charged a deposit on the cans of the Red Bull to go with their shots, and then not being able to refund the cans at the bar. So it's just not been sort of like the information about how it works hasn't been put out to the people that are actually having to do it. There's also reports of broken machines that are constantly either out of order all the time or need resetting after 7 or 8 cans. Ones that aren't accepting returns for cans that have the logos on them. So it's a lot of the issues that we're warned about for the Scottish one are happening in the Irish one. It's really is a case that has been rushed through but not fought through. So let's hope they get those sorted out soon, because it's not like they weren't warned by people in the trade who, deal with this sort of thing on a daily basis. And that's it from me. It's really quite a short week, so hopefully next week there'll be a bit more to talk about. Cheers.